Welcome to Stupid Muslim Comments. This video series presents some of the amazingly stupid comments by Muslims on YouTube. This week's episode will be the last regularly scheduled episode of this series in order to give me time to work on other awesome projects. Not to fear, from time to time, I will be releasing new Stupid Muslim Comments videos, however not on a 3-week cycle. Thanks to everyone who submits stupid comments for me to use. Keep them coming. And now, here are this week's top 5 picks. This week's comments are read to you by Orkadstra. Check out his channel and make sure to subscribe. Our first comment of the week is from Herwit Merwit, who had this to say.
Islam is the only religion that has monotheism. Muslims worship the only one God. All the Prophet, SAW, from God are Muslims. Islam means surrender to the one God. The Jewish media in the USA and Europa are brainwashing the ignorant people with lies to hate Islam because the enemies of Islam are full of jealousy and hate. The greatest terrorists are the enemies of Islam who killed millions of people in history and in this time.
In a day and age where information is so readily available, there is little to no excuse to not fact-check your claims. In less than 30 seconds, I searched Google for a list of monotheistic religions. Islam is by no means the only religion to believe in a single God. Antonism was the very first monotheistic religion, followed by, in no particular order, certain sects of Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, Ekankar, Baha'i, Sikhism, Judaism, and Christianity. Since Herwit Merwit clearly has access to a computer and the internet, it would be wise for him and others like him to spend even a couple of minutes verifying basic level information. I could keep doing the legwork and searching the internet on your behalf, but both of our time would be better spent if you did a little bit of research on your own. In regards to the claim that all prophets from God are Muslim, not only are we far away from even confirming the existence of a God, we are in no position to determine which religion, if any, would best align with his wants and wishes. Clearly, the people in history who claimed to be prophets of God, and those who made claims of others, were believers of a plethora of different religions and deities, many to have predated Islam by hundreds, if not thousands of years. I swear, religious people seem to keep pulling things out of dark orifices without any rational justification and appeal to evidence. While the word Islam may mean some version of surrender to God, its etymological origin is no closer to proving God's existence true, as the etymological origin of the word orchid is proof that the flower's roots are actually testicles. Google orchid testicle if you don't know what I'm talking about. Next, our commenter makes claims regarding the Jewish media in the US and Europe. I assumed he was not speaking of the 6th moon of Jupiter, but you never know, right? While I do agree that the media often sensationalizes and skews information for political and religious motivations, I'd sooner trust their version of the truth over the God-attributed words from a superstitious and oblivious group of desert people 1400 years ago. That which people do not understand, they often distrust and are highly fearful and critical. However, your cause to spread Islam is hindered when Muslims are quick to violence and intolerance. I see nothing in Islam to be jealous of, but I do see a lot of reasons to hate it. The greatest terrorists are those who think their violent, destructive, and oppressive actions are mandated by a being that cannot be reasoned with or questioned. The world needs less mindless religious automatons and more rational, critical thinking individuals who can work to make living on Earth better for everyone. Gogo Dodo's next with this comment.
As a Muslim, as much as I should not say what I'm about to say because it's not allowed in Islam, I will say it anyway. May Allah give America and Israel a fate so horrible in this world that they run out of even blood to cry, and also raise them as kafirs and burn them forever. Ameen summa ameen. I know I'm going to burn in hell for my sins, and I deserve to burn in hell for them, but when I see you kafirs burn with me, I'll laugh my head off at you and your women and children. : and parenthesis.
It's interesting to notice that even hate-filled Muslims can find Islam to be overly controlling and limiting, especially in regards to free speech. Gogo Dodo feels the need to break Islamic rules in order to spread vitriol, in what I can only imagine is a poor attempt to defend his religion. I'm not sure which is worse, being limited in what you are allowed to say about others and their beliefs, or asking an imaginary being to lay waste to millions of people who you consider worthy of such wrath. Rejecting Islam and rejecting the claim that Allah exists is a matter of intellectual honesty, rather than a sin so damning worthy of an eternity in hellfire. If this God of yours actually exists, and he is willing to listen and be potentially motivated to commit genocide, he is worse than any possible monster ever conceived by a human mind. How do people like this commenter differentiate their God from a seemingly identical being known as Lucifer? Of course, as an atheist, both the God and the Satan characters are merely the creation of an uncritical, uneducated, and fantasy-prone human mind, and can be easily dismissed without investing a whole lot of time or emotion. Gogo Dodo brings the term kafir up, which is to mean any person who has read and understood the message of the Quran, however, has rejected it. Those of us who they label thusly are damned to hell, an eternity accompanied by the likes of this commenter. Hell just got a whole lot worse. Perhaps this will entice me to take a second look at Islam. Who am I kidding? This particular brand of theist, one who wishes eternal punishment for any man, woman, or child who doesn't believe as he does, is truly a sad sight, especially when considering how far we have come in our social evolution. A world devoid of such thoughts would be a measurable improvement, and something to strive for with the aid of a healthy level of skepticism and a proper education. Our next comment is from Eskia010, who had this to say.
LOL, who follows the Bible 100%? 90% of Christians eat pork and drink alcohol a lot. They don't Jesus, peace be upon him, properly. Jesus had a beard like all prophets, and he had long hair. When he submitted or prayed to God, he put his forehead on the ground just like Muslims do. He was circumcised. His mother was covered. If women should follow the Bible, they should follow Maria. If you saw Maria nowadays on the street, you would think she was a Muslim woman. Muslims follow the Bible more.
Anyone who would blindly follow any of the holy books 100% to the letter would end up spending the rest of their life behind bars. It is best for everyone that no one take the advice of the Bible or Quran fully literal and acts upon it as instructed. Those who even mainstream religious would identify as extreme fundamentalist theists are living often more in line with what their holy books demand, while the moderate religious people tend to be open to more liberal and civilized interpretations and cherry-picking of the nice bits. I find it humorous when a religious person of one religion criticizes a person of another religion for practicing their own religion incorrectly. Christians don't tend to abstain from eating pigs or drinking alcohol, at least for not specifically religious reasons. They also don't have a requirement to regurgitate, peace be upon him, every time they utter Jesus' name. Those particularities are central to other religions, namely Jews and Muslims' stigma against eating pigs, and Muslims' superstitious level need to ensure that peace be upon him be uttered every time Muhammad is mentioned. What quantity of facial hair or length of hair Jesus had or did not have is a mystery and entirely irrelevant. How Jesus prayed to himself or his Father, who was part of himself, but not, is again a mystery and irrelevant. You can try and create a narrative in which Jesus was a covert Muslim 600 years before Muhammad, but what you end up doing is making your already foolish baseless religious beliefs even more ridiculous. No atheist or Christian would be impressed with your claims, and so all you accomplish is further face-palming. While you may believe that Muslims follow the Bible more than Christians do, only irrational, naive theists would consider this to be a positive attribute. For the rest of us rational skeptics who consider faith in the supernatural and Bronze Age morality as immoral, immature, and ignorant, these beliefs are not appropriate for 21st century people who value truth. Religious beliefs have long passed their expiration date and are no longer fit for consumption. Next, Abdullah S. said this.
Rot in hell, you stupid bitch. You think you can sit there and talk shit about topics which are sensitive and sacred to people? Atheism can't prove shit. The only thing you have in your defense is further research has to be done. We weren't sent to Earth to understand. We were sent down here to believe. You have to stop and think about everything around you, the whole universe, every little living thing, and think about why it's there. What purpose does it serve? Science won't be there as the apocalypse occurs, so it's now, it's never. You make the call.
Nice way to start a comment. Decompose an imaginary place of eternal torment, you stupid female dog. Nice. Since we live in countries where we have the freedom to express our opinions and observations regarding the world, other people, and their beliefs, you may not like what we have to say, and you have every right to express your dislike. I and other atheists who post videos critical of religious claims are not interested in preserving and protecting the sensitivities of theists and their irrational beliefs. True, Atheism is not about proving anything, as it's not a positive claim that needs defending. It is a rejection of the claim that a God exists due to the lack of evidence that would rationally justify belief. Until such time as a God or the supernatural could be demonstrated with evidence, belief in a deity is premature and irrational. To suggest that we were sent to earth for a purpose is to already make an assertion that needs to be demonstrated, and cannot be asserted as fact a priori. There is no evidence that any person existed before their birth, since the only example of human beings are ones who are already alive and have bodies. So to speak of beings sent to earth makes no sense whatsoever. Moreover, to make a claim that we are here not to understand but to believe is again to make an assertion that requires proof. An ancient book written by men who knew little of the universe is a pathetic example of evidence and not worthy of serious consideration. Just after Abdullah S. asserted that we are not on earth to understand but to believe, he states that we should stop and think about everything around us. Isn't thinking the first step to understanding? Shouldn't your position be that we should not think and just accept uncritically the words of the Qu'ran? If we allow ourselves to think about the universe and ask deep but senseless questions like what's the meaning of life and everything, we are striving to come to an understanding to justify belief. I see no reason to even ask such a question, because asking it presupposes that an answer should exist. Science is the process by which we investigate the universe around us. It will exist as long as there are inquisitive, intelligent, sentient beings alive. And our last comment is from Zed Muhammad 79, who said,
"Y'all motherfuckers need to shut the fuck up. All you do is talk shit about the Prophet Muhammad, and yet if you look, he is the #1 known man ever and will always remain that way, so if you want to talk shit about him, you can, but you're only harming your fucking self, not him or the religion. And when you said Islam is not peace, I would recommend you learn about the religion and not the people. Islam is the most beautiful and peaceful religion on earth, but the people who practice it aren't, so correction, Islam is peace."
Yet another commenter who exudes such graceful unpleasantries to anyone who dare speak ill of his beliefs and question the character of his pedophilic prophet. Just like our previous commenter, Zed Muhammad 79 seems to have a hatred for the right to free speech and anyone who yields it. Muhammad was far from an exemplary figure, and his notoriety across the world and in time is less a consequence of his greatness, but rather the persistence of his followers. Also, like our previous commenter, we find blatant inconsistencies within. Zed Muhammad 79 initially requests, in colorful language, that we cease and desist in speaking ill of his prophet, yet not 3 lines later do we find him giving us permission to do so. So which is it? Shut up or talk critically? It's not our fault if the truth is unpleasant. You may be comfortable being wrapped up in a fictional security blanket, but I prefer my eyes wide open. Like most other religions, Islam has a violent track record. The people who profess allegiance to particular religious sects represent the real-world embodiment of those religions, both good and bad. If Islam is so perfect and peaceful, why is it so hard for its practitioners to live by its example? You would have to be a very imaginatively interpretive Muslim to honestly claim that the Quran does not contain within its pages all sorts of violent instructions, immoral behaviors, and questionable ethics. Perhaps you wish to evolve the Islamic religion through a reformation of sorts, opening up critical examination of the text and allowing for interpretations and a move away from the hardline notion that the Quran must not be questioned. I think I'm a victim of wishful thinking and of being naive. There you have it. 5 stupid comments from 5 different YouTubers. Which comment would you vote to win the Dumbest Comment of the Week award? Would it be 1. Harriet Merwit, who believes that the media is brainwashing us jealous non-Muslims into hating people. 2. Gogo Dodo, who prays to his God for the violent destruction of millions of unbelievers and punish us for eternity. 3. Eskeya010, who thinks that Muslims are better at being Christians than Christians are. 4. Abdullah S., who thinks we were sent to earth to believe, not understand. Or 5. Zed Muhammad 79, who thinks we should all shut the fuck up, but failing to do so, we can talk shit if we like. To vote, leave your choice in the comment section below. Choose only one winner. Results will be available on my Facebook page and Google Plus page 1 week from today on Friday, April 11th. Check back to see who won. If you enjoyed this video, remember to press the like button and share with everyone. Thanks for watching. Want to see more? Click subscribe and keep an eye out for new videos coming out soon. Follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus pages. Links are in the description. Lastly, head over to my channel and check out all the debates, presentations, and videos.